How's everybody doing? Are you excited? President Armacost, faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, the graduates here today. I'm extremely thankful for the opportunity to join you here on a wonderful day. President Armacost, thank you for that kind introduction, and thank you for your leadership of this great university and for your long and distinguished career in service to our nation. You probably all know this, but Andrew Armacost is not just the University of North Dakota's president, he's also a retired Air Force general officer with a distinguished career, and just an incredibly talented, accomplished, and brilliant man. He culminated his career as the Dean of the Air Force Academy, and I will tell you, he was universally loved and respected among cadets, faculty, and all who served with him. And I will tell you, the Air Force's loss is UND's gain. Being here today brings a bit of nostalgia, as this is where my Air Force career began. This August will mark 38 years since Second Lieutenant J. Raymond arrived at Grand Forks Air Force Base as a missile launch officer in the 321st Strategic Missile Wing. But even more importantly, Grand Forks and the University of North Dakota will always hold a special place in my heart. First off, UND is world-leading in the fields of medicine, engineering, aviation, unmanned aircraft systems, and most importantly to me, space. It is no coincidence that the Space Force's very first agreement with an educational institution was the University of North Dakota. That's all true. That's all true, but it is even more important to me because this is where I met Mollie, the love of my life, and a 1987 University of North Dakota undergraduate and a 1989 graduate. Now, is it just me, or is there a buzz here today? Allow me to join your family, friends, and faculty in taking a moment to applaud each and every one of you on this special day. Congratulations on an incredible achievement. Today, you can sit back, enjoy the day, think to yourself, I made it. And I encourage you all to do so. But also realize we're celebrating a new beginning. That's the reason why they call this a commencement address. Commencement meaning beginning, not the end. And although we're celebrating your graduation, we are also reflecting on the opportunities that lie ahead for each of you. Tomorrow you will start a new chapter where it's not just about getting a good grade anymore. A chapter where your family, your employer, your community, and your nation are depending on you to use what you have learned to make a difference. You are graduating into a dynamic and changing world, the most complex global strategic environment in most of our lifetimes. That will bring challenges for you, but it will also bring great opportunities. Know that you are good enough to do great things if you are bold enough to invent your future. When I arrived at Grand Forks Air Force Base nearly 4 decades ago, I had no idea where my career would take me. I thought I'd spend 4 years in the Air Force and then get out. Instead, I spent 35 years in the United States Air Force and 2.5 in the Space Force as the Chief of Space Operations for our newest branch of the military service. If you had asked me, or if anybody that knew me, if I would ever be in a position like this, I and they would tell you there's absolutely no way. But if I can do it, so can you. Just as today, there are many jobs that didn't even exist when I graduated, including my current job. Many of you will work in jobs or careers throughout your career that don't exist today. I didn't even see a personal computer until I was a senior in college. We used punch cards on a big mainframe computer. And a cyber attack back then was your roommate. My roommate was a guy named Jordan, who mixed up your cards. And today, I'm leading the most high-tech military service in our country. A service whose mission is to ensure that every American and our joint forces have the space capabilities that fuel your way of life and protect our national security interests. Many of you may not recognize the fact that you've used space multiple times before you had your first cup of coffee. You used it when you accessed a map application on your phone to drive here today. Our GPS satellite constellation provides you that little blue dot. Your smartphone is a really stupid phone without space. If any of you listen to satellite radio, you can thank space. If you got a weather forecast, you got that from space. When you got cash out of an ATM machine, you use space. How many people stopped at a gas station and got gas and paid at the pump? You use space. Because the timing signal off the global positioning system, the GPS satellite system, synchronizes our information way of life, our information age society. Technology is moving so fast, and the U.S. commercial industry is so innovative that next week, your skill set will already be getting stale. Like me, you will have to continue to learn and reinvent yourself. Never stop being curious, never stop learning. So how do we handle a world that's changing so rapidly around us? It could be easy to lose your way. The answer is to think carefully about your values, wherever you found them. Your values are your North Star, and they will help guide you when you are faced with opportunities, challenges, and failure. Everyone will find their own, but I'll give you one example. In the Space Force, we have 4 core values: courage, commitment, connection, and character. I want to tell them a little bit about you today because I believe they are good values, not just for Guardians, but for everyone who wants to live a good life, a life of purpose, and a life of meaning. The first is courage. There are many different types of courage. The physical courage it takes to put yourself in harm's way in order to keep others safe. But when I say courage, I mean more than that. Courage is taking action and accepting risk when necessary, being open to change and engaging with new ideas, doing what needs to be done and saying what needs to be said because it is right, and the kind of courage it is that's and what's needed in all of us, whatever our careers, whatever our paths in life. For me, recently, courage has meant being bold. Standing up the first new military service in more than 70 years doesn't mean doing things the same way that we've always done them. We've had to take risks and be creative. And as I've told my team, being bold takes courage. Think about what courage means to you. It might mean bringing new ideas or a new perspective. It might mean bringing a new technology to your business. Don't hold back. Dream big and deliver. The second of our Space Force values is commitment. All of you already know something about commitment. It took commitment to apply to and to get accepted to UND. It took commitment to make it through your tough classes. It took commitment to work on the degree for 4 years, or maybe even longer. And I'm sure each and every one of you were challenged in one way or another along the way, and you stuck with it, or you wouldn't be here right now. And it's going to take even more commitment as you go forward from here. You'll need to set really high standards. Don't settle for mediocrity. For those entering in the military, please stand. For those that got commissioned. Anybody here? Anybody? There you go. Thank you. Thank you for your service. I'm assuming when you raised your hand to take an oath of office to serve our country, you didn't want to join a so-so military. You want to be part of the world's best. And that holds true for each and every one of you. No matter what your profession that you pursue, strive to be the best. Set very high standards. And hold yourself and those that you're privileged to lead accountable to meet those standards. Our third value is connection. We have all, over the past 2.5 years of quarantine, with masks and remote classes and social distancing, been reminded of how vital connection can be. But many of you might be surprised that connection is one of the core values of a military service. However, it makes a lot of sense when you think about space. Space is a vital global interest. There are no borders where that side is yours and this side is mine. It's a global domain, we all share. It has to be a team effort. And winning teammates have a special connection. They treat each other with respect. They tap into the best each other has to offer. They are stronger together than they are individually, and they work together not just to profit from a transaction, but because they agree on a common purpose. Our final Space Force value is character. Character defines who you really are. The actions we take, both the small ones on a daily basis and the big ones in a moment of crisis, are a reflection of your character. You're going to be put in positions where it will be easier to give your integrity away and make the wrong decision than it will be to make the tougher right decision. Always make the right decision. You'll be defined by your character. Nobody can take that away from you. You can only give it away. And I would encourage you not to do so. It's a lot harder to actually do the right things, especially when no one is looking, when no one applauds, when the only reward you get is the certainty within yourself that you did the right thing. Finally, if you take nothing else from this address, I'd ask you to be a good person. Treat everyone with dignity and respect. This will sound a little familiar to those that were here in this morning's ceremony, but I'm a big country music fan. Anybody here a country music fan? Woo! Woo! I can't put it any better than Tim McGraw and his song, Humble and Kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie. I know you have mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. Thanks so much for having me here and letting me share a few thoughts with you. My sincere congratulations to each and every one of you. Mollie and I wish you all the best in the future. Now go climb that mountain and make a difference. Thank you.
We are very